Kathy Wood is one of the best advisors in financial sector. She is very accurate with her predictions. She recently talked about the future of economy. She said that business are scrambling to catch up to the consumer, but the consumers left. We are going to see a pretty serious drop on commodity prices. We have already started to see some of these. Copper price peaked at $4.90 is down to roughly 450. We are seeing lumber prices. They peaked at US 1000, 7000 and $11 per the metric ton. Now down to got as low as 1200. So 1711 to 1200 is quite the drop. Lately, a lot of people has expressed paranoia over inflation. Warren Buffett points to overall costs to build houses rising. Ray Dalio fears we are trapped in a nasty stock bubble. Bill Gates is selling many of his key positions, albeit his divorce greatly influences that scenario. And Michael Burry is bearish on pretty much everything that doesn't involve GameStop. But at the top, Kathy Wood is quite smart too, and she argues the economy is heading the other way towards deflation. What did the consumers spend on goods? Non-durable and durable goods, because those were the only items that consumers could spend anything on. Services were pretty much shut down. Now what's interesting about this is goods make up less than a third of all consumer spending. Services make up the rest. So for the past year, the consumer was focusing his or her spending on goods, just a third of a typical budget, and consumer spending rose as a share of total spending to more than 40%. It's not been that high in the United States in quite some time. As a result, we believe that consumers have actually been building inventories themselves at home with all these goods, many of which they will not need. Now that they can go out and start to spend on services, and we are bringing to see that happen. Now what we think is also happening is that businesses are still scrambling trying to catch up. Inventories relative to sales are at a record low. And as a result of that, businesses are losing sales and they become a bit panicked about it. So the scramble continues. Usually panic and scramble means double ordering, triple ordering to make sure to get those supplies so that they won't lose sales in the future. Meanwhile, the consumer has already shifted to services. Consumers keep buying non-durable and durable goods that can be shipped to them. Buying all of this stuff while society was stuck at home created a disproportionate amount of spending on goods. On the business end of things, the general lack of capital spending inventories and the rising trade tensions between the US and China, among other factors, meant that businesses in general could not keep the supply in line with recent demand for goods. This situation leads to businesses panic buying through overly increased purchase orders, which Kathy believes will lead to a massive period of deflation in the future. These panic orders are being or will be cancelled, with people reverting their spending habits from mass goods back to services, and in general regular consumer habits returning to normal. At the same time, commodity prices will correct these two economic conditions, fused to create cyclical deflation. Kathy Wood also looks at innovation factors such as the cost of artificial intelligence training dropping significantly. The results she sees ultimately aid a more efficient society and hurt companies that short-sightedly chase short-term profits over the economy's long-term prosperity and evaluation via the same complicated innovative stuff that ARK always invests in. Having said all of that, Kathy's portfolio performance has not been nearly as pristine this year as it has in ARK's impressive history. ARK's flagship innovation, ETF, is actually down almost 4% in net asset value. The per share value of a mutual fund stock, bond, and cash reserve holdings down over 3% in market price as well. In fact, at one point last month, the firm had lost over one third of its value. Tesla's need for speedy innovation fits the course of Wood's innovative inclination perfectly, and she's been one of Tesla's main supporters for many years. Tesla's unlimited potential and potential threats have been covered to death by lovers and haters. One piece of new news is Tesla announcing in May the company would no longer include radar for the best-selling Model 3 and electing to use cameras for autopilot instead. Musk believes radar is inferior to camera-led precision. He also thinks radar needs to improve to be worth the difficulty integrating it due to how advanced and complicated radar is. The move has been met with some resistance, as most experts argue a combination of radar capabilities and cameras are best, since radar can measure velocity of vehicles quicker and more accurately than cameras, which leads to faster and better brake recognition. Tesla stock is trading in the 600s. It's always known for volatility trading between 147.40 and a little over 900 for a crazy 52-week range. Tesla stock's beta of 2 reflects the high risk high reward volatility. Beta is the risk relative to the market portfolio, and the market risk is always one of the higher the riskier. But the greater the risk, the higher the return expected. The greater the risk, the higher the return expected is one of the key lessons in investing, and expected is the key word. Sophisticated investors like Kathy carefully diversify their portfolios into multiple asset classes to help optimize their returns while hopefully lowering their overall risk. Experts believe that low correlation is one of the keys to proper diversification, and ARK has had the lowest correlation to the stock market of any major asset class, according to a 2020 report by Citibank. Also, contemporary ARK prices have increased more than the S&P 500, total return by 174% from 1995 to 2020, according to publicly available data. So it's no wonder that 61% of high net worth collectors allocate over 10% of their overall portfolio to art. In fact, the global wealth held in art is estimated to be worth $1.7 trillion, and Deloitte projects it to grow 900 billion by 2026. Disruptive innovation is basically finding new ways to use old products and on new products to make a new market to replace the old one. Doing so creates value of a first mover advantage. Teladoc tries to modernize the patient-doctor relationship process through technology. Patient calls a board-certified doctor 24/7 who is available through phone and video consultations. If Teladoc succeeds in sparkling a socio-cultural change in the health sector, ARK succeeds in making a lot of money. Cathie Wood keeps investing based on her mantra of disruptive innovation that creates new economies or changes the old ones. So guys, these are the views from Cathie's perspective. Please let me know, do you like her views or you would like to give some suggestions to me and to our YouTube family. Also like this video, subscribe to this channel and share it in your financial community. And drop your views on whom should I make my next video, which expert would you like to hear from. Till then, you can watch previous amazing videos on our channel. Bye bye and take care.